Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome back to Coito Ergo Sum. Let's talk more action, a series which can't handle the truth. Last week we started giving Fresca a guided tour of the Mojave, since she's between movies and we're visiting a lot of different places to recruit magazine models. I had also given her some glasses, but they didn't quite fit her face, so I took them back, and while I was at it I gave her one of my old guns. Not taking her anyplace overtly dangerous, but better safe than sorry. Speaking of which, I need you to hang out here in Novak for a few minutes. Wait here?
All right, if you think it's safe.
I can't think of many safer places than here with Boone. Wants a little personal space, apparently. So this is the ridge where Veronica died. Ranger Station Charlie is right over there. And, oh yeah, they respawned. There's a Decanus right there. I came back here because someone pointed out in the comments last week that the most likely origin of the ambush the week before was a Legion camp near here that isn't marked on the map, but is the spawn point for up to 3 raiding parties that patrol this general area of the world map. Just make sure there aren't any more sneaking up on me. Yeah, lot of red in this direction. That's at least 5, including the sentry I already killed, and my perception isn't that great, so the others are probably just out of my detection range. Oh, I really wish I had the Mr. Sandman perk right now. So, the ambush wasn't my perfect storm crackpot theory. It was just these guys sitting around the campfire going, "Hey, isn't that the guy who killed Kaisar?" Anyway, I'm going to let sleeping dogs lie and head back to Novak, and thanks to the person who left the tip, so we finally have some real closure. Why do you not remember what weapon type I told you to use?
Okay, but I don't... Whoa, I know Kung Fu. I don't remember learning that.
Nice Matrix reference, but use ranged weapons.
If they're at long range, wouldn't running away be an option?
Absolutely. I just don't want you running off to Kung Fu Freeside thugs while we're recruiting models. Speaking of which, the real reason we're here, let's go talk to Jeannie Mae. Oh, there she is.
Well, welcome to you. You look tired from the road. Why don't you relax a spell? Let this fine town take care of you.
Apparently I've never talked to her before, even though I'm idolized in Novak. Anyway, Lolipopz Magazine is back in business, and it looks like you could use some publicity.
Maybe.
And there's my high rep. Many respected businesswomen and entrepreneurs post for Lolipopz. Women like you.
I can't imagine why.
You mean besides the money and esteem? I don't know, maybe they liked the attention. How about it?
Oh, well, all right.
I saw a quest update that Leah and her baby are ready to travel, so we'll talk to them as soon as we're done here. Get the camera out. Despite her rural conservative image, Jeannie Mae gets kind of wild in the spotlight. Not sure if Fresca's turned on or appalled.
Well, hello. I'm glad you got a chance to see me off. Minuet is sleeping in the auto crib. She's so beautiful. Thank you again for, everything. I'd like to compensate you for all your trouble. I travel light, so I don't have any, sentimental trinkets. I hope you aren't offended by money.
I'm only offended by money when the sum is too small.
Now that I can totally relate to. Thank you for everything.
How will you get back to California? Route 15 is closed at the Mojave outpost.
My family makes, significant campaign contributions. My travel exemption was approved at a very high level. They'll let me through.
You won't be traveling alone, I hope.
No, my travel papers cover any temporary employees in my party. Traffic is so backed up, I'll have my pick of caravans and bodyguards. I can hire the best muscle money can buy, and after the kickbacks, I'll still probably break even. Maybe even turn a profit.
Are you going to leave without saying farewell to Rondo?
He was here earlier. Try to keep him out of trouble, okay? If I have time for entertainment the next time I'm in town, well, He's one of my favorites.
So I guess this is goodbye then.
Not goodbye, au revoir. The next time I have a valid, tax-deductible reason to visit New Vegas, I'll see you again. And if you're ever in the hub, look me up. A competent freelancer with no local attachments could find the situation quite lucrative. Well, I'd better get going. A long journey starts with one step, as they say. Au revoir.
And that finally completes positions available, which I'd forgotten was still active since Rondo's been working here for weeks. Leah and Minuet go back to California. Rondo and Minuet. That can't be a coincidence. I guess Leah's trying to create the impression that Rondo's the father so nobody thinks it was her brother. Anyway, next stop, Freeside. Well, after I get a drink.
How you today?
Good, Brett. How's it going? I wish I'd known you when I picked my new body. The coupling permutations are virtually unlimited.
Why, Caradama, you trying to get into my pants? 'Cause if you are, you won't have to try very hard.
Nice.
I love these little places off the strip. Everyone's more laid back, and the drinks are cheaper.
So, Benny's dead, huh? That shifty son of a bitch had it coming.
Did you know I run a publicity machine like nothing since the Great War?
It doesn't look like it to me.
Lolipopz Magazine is back in business. We will have readers from here to California as soon as I get around to actually publishing one.
Interesting.
Many distinguished entrepreneurs and civic leaders posed for Lolipopz. Women like you.
All right, fair enough.
My studio's in Mountain Springs if you can spare a few hours away from the drunks and deadbeats.
All right, much appreciated.
Francine's an elite cover girl, being co-owner of the only casino in Freeside, but she's in the bottom tier for appearance, and that's another case where I think the survey that determined the bonuses was wrong because, I don't know, I think she's pretty. She's obviously in the bottom tier of attitude bonus, as you can tell from the way she poses, so we definitely don't want to use her in that section. And as soon as we're done here, we'll go get her brother to pose. I don't think it's any easier to convince either one of them just because the other one already posed. Some models do work that way, where if somebody they respect already did it, their speech challenge is easier, but since I'm idolized in Freeside, it shouldn't matter. They should all be easy or completely bypassed.
Wanna get lucky? Head on down to the Atomic Wrangler.
While we're here,
The Wrangler's just down the street. You're almost there already.
I'm shooting an ad for the Wrangler. Can you take off your clothes and pretend to entice customers?
Uh-huh.
I forgot she does an on-site photo shoot, which is good because it saves us a trip. She's in the top tier for attitude bonus, and the only other models who might have that are the King's groupies, but they're the only ones who get the top appearance bonus, so we'll have to use them for the opener and her for the closer. And if we use Francine on the cover, that issue really will be fantastic advertising for them. If you could mix and match men and women, we could use James as the opener and have an entire Atomic Wrangler theme issue, but you can't. Any issue is either all men or all women. Speaking of the King's groupies, you can't actually ask them yourself. You have to use the staff photographer, who you can't hire until you've actually published some issues, which we aren't doing until after we fire Hilly, so even after we start publishing magazines, the Freeside theme issue won't be one of the first. And it looks like the sun is just coming up, so I seriously doubt James is going to be out of bed yet, but if he isn't, we'll ask somebody else. Yeah, he's still in bed, so let's talk to old Ben.
Hello again.
Want to pose for He-3 magazine? It pays 50 caps.
Done.
I probably won't be publishing any issues of He-3, at least not in the first 12, because they don't make as much money. Belthan says he compared actual circulation figures for real-life adult magazines, and he made the difference in the game much smaller than the real gap between magazines marketed to straight men and the ones for basically everyone else. But there is still a gap, which might be a statement that straight men will spend money on porn even in an atomic wasteland when everybody else is more concerned with food and water and radiation. Anyway, the real reason I'm shooting guys is some of them won't be in a movie unless they've already posed for the magazine, and they do make you a ton of money in the movies. James still isn't up, so we'll talk to Gloria.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to search you before letting you in. The only weapons allowed on the premises are the ones we're selling.
Okay, search away.
It should only take a moment. There, I've stowed all of your weapons. You're clear to enter. When you leave, I'll hand them all back to you.
The bosses are having a meeting. You'll have to wait until it's over.
Apparently I've never been in here.
Mr. Soren, please get to the point. The second half of your payment is late, and I want to know why.
Miss Van Graff, my associates and I have decided that we wish to renegotiate the terms of our deal.
Might I ask for what reason? The shipment was delivered. The guns were tested
Video
before
rental
leaving this
income
facility.
received. Nice.
Regardless, we feel that the quality of the weapons is below expectation and hope to adjust the price accordingly.
Ah, I think I understand what the issue here is. Excuse me for a moment, would you? Do it. Never break faith with the Van Graffs, Mr. Soren. I expect you'll have the rest of our payment ready tomorrow morning. Okay, everyone. Show's over. Back to work.
This is different. It used to be a casino. Think they have an AER-12? Oh my god, this is where Dee got drunk and slapped Ginger.
Excuse me?
I know. It was after the Pervies in 71. Ginger just won Best Actress and she was unbearable. I don't remember exactly what she said, but to cross the line with someone as sweet as Dee, it must have been awful.
Not that. Why would you ask about an AER-12?
Yeah, you're right. After 200 years, the focusing crystals must be shot to hell. The AER-9's probably held up a lot better. Titanium housing and all.
Why does a porno director know so much about weapons?
I don't know exactly. I do remember skeet shooting at Larry's ranch. Maybe I was a gun nut.
Huh. I didn't think I had enough relationship points for that yet. Well, the thresholds might be different because only a female courier can romance her. Maybe I'll show you the clueless guy hits on a lesbian option later, but I'm pretty sure she has some more just friends dialogue about her memory loss and other pre-war stuff. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Right. That's why we're here.
Welcome to the Silver Rush, where only top-of-the-line energy weapons can be found. What can I do for you?
There's more to marketing than intimidation. Interested in some free publicity?
What did you have in mind?
Did you know Lolipopz Magazine was a reputable forum for entrepreneurs and civic leaders?
Until recently, yes.
Now more than ever. There aren't any other magazines competing for readers today.
I suppose you have a point.
You won't regret it. My studio is in Mountain Springs. We can go now if you have time.
Suits me.
Gloria's also an elite cover girl like Francine. Oh, my weapons got unhotkeyed when I got searched at the Silver Rush. So what I was saying, Francine and Gloria are both in the top tier for appeal bonus because everybody knows the Garretts and the Van Graffs, and so is Dr. Farcus, so Freeside has an embarrassment of riches when it comes to cover girls. But like I said, only the King's groupies get the top appearance bonus, and only one or two get the top attitude bonus. So even though there are a lot of models in Freeside, it's harder than you might think to put together a bestseller. Especially since you're probably better off using Dr. Farcus and April Martimer in a Followers of the Apocalypse theme issue. I think Gloria is in the middle tier for appearance, but obviously not so hot on attitude. There's James.
Doesn't look good. This buildup of forces between the NCR and Legion. Not good at all for business in the long run, if the Legion wins.
Lolipopz Publishing is back in business. We can help promote your business.
That's an interesting proposition.
An interview and photo shoot for He-3 magazine would be great publicity.
Why not? Let's go.
I was waiting for James in particular because he's in the top tier for all 3 magazine sections, which is great, but more importantly, he's one of a very small group of actors who boost sales of a movie just by virtue of being in it. So like Old Ben has one of the other perks that isn't quite as rare, where he has so much charisma that he gives any of his female co-stars +1 to their appeal bonus. But so does Rondo. The last movie we made, we maxed out all of the actresses' bonuses with only 3 actors, so Old Ben's perk would have been wasted if we hired him for the last slot. And that's where James or Bruce Isaac would come in handy, because they're so famous they boost sales independent of the rest of the cast. And speaking of Bruce, I know for a fact he needs to pose for the magazine before he'll be in a movie because I couldn't hire him for the last one. So as soon as we're done with Freeside, we'll go talk with him. Here's another problem because I started Coito with a high-level save game instead of a new game. April Mortimer disappears after you upgrade Eddie, so there's no way to recruit her now. Well, maybe after we hire a photographer, we'll see. So, let's talk to Dr. Farcus. Okay, she's not in bed either, so where the hell is she? I know she doesn't disappear because you can always buy medical supplies and magazines from her. I mean, after you get to a certain reputation level with the followers, but I'm idolized, which should also make her speech challenge easier than it was in the old playthrough. Oh, there she is. She was hiding behind April's tent the whole time.
I've heard a few patients mention the Securitrons are acting strangely, and no one has heard from Mr. House in a while. If House is out of the picture, maybe we'll be able to get our hands on some of his technology. It would help our scientists greatly.
Huh. Not sure I've ever heard that before. Can you talk to her about it? No? Well, I can't help you with his technology, but what would you say if I could give you a PR platform to promote your cause, plus a few caps?
If this plan will bring us closer to helping Freeside, I'd be interested to hear it.
Lolipopz is back in the publishing business. You'd make a great model.
Oh, I'd be in the back of a magazine. Great.
The back? No way. You're cover girl material. Maybe Lollipop of the Year.
I don't see how this could help.
Ah, speech challenge is completely bypassed because I'm idolized. Last time I think it required speech skill of 100. Anyway, Lana Elsker raised astronomical sums for charity. Pose for me, and so could you.
Well, alright.
Julie, obviously, elite cover girl, which is why I'd rather use her for a followers theme issue and use Francine or Gloria for the Freeside issue. And another instance where I think the survey is wrong on the appearance bonus, because she's in the middle tier, but I think she's drop-dead gorgeous. And I'm not just saying that because my girlfriend has a mohawk. I'm saying that because in Bethesda games, just looking human puts you in the top half of the bell curve, and actually being attractive is something that Face Gen seems like it was designed to prevent. That's why Belthan has such a hard-on for Vera Weatherly, but I can't get past her personality. And I wouldn't stoop to debating which video game characters are hotter, except getting a good score in this minigame requires me to, so yeah. Alright, pop upstairs for some food and water, and then go talk to Bruce. I doubt I'll ever need Bruce and James in the same movie, but I can always dream. I've been trying out some of the stuff in the slang vocabulary file, and I tell you, soak and raise is way overrated. It's hot, it hurts my eyes, and my skin was sore and itchy for days. I think I'll pass on catching a wave. I think we might have heard all of Caradom's unique post-quest dialogue at this point, but it doesn't hurt to say hi once in a while. Goodbye. Later, bro. All right, to the strip.
I love this place. All the top acts play here. Played here. Hey, think we can take in a show?
Sure, I was going to the theater to talk to Bruce anyway. Maybe we can see him sing.
Let's go. We want to get a good seat.
That's the guy who killed Caesar.
If you're playing a female courier and you're romancing her, this is one of the places you can take her on a date. Oh no. Country music.
You dig this crazy scene or what?
Not really.
You dig this crazy scene or what?
I said no.
I hope Swank's smarter than Benny.
I've heard that Securitrons are nastier than ever.
For the record, I don't hate all country music, just most of it. The Lonesome Drifter is better than most. I'm sorry. I thought maybe we could catch Bruce.
Hey, ready to go?
Oh, yeah. Just let me talk to Bruce for a minute and we are out.
Later.
Tommy?
Oh, it's you again. What is it?
Entertainers need publicity. Want to pose for a He-3 magazine?
If you give me caps, I'll do it.
Of course. The standard modeling fee is 50 caps.
All right, let's go.
So I think I know what's going on with Fresca. At this point, I know I'd have enough relationship points to unlock new dialogue if there was any to unlock, so there probably isn't, because the rest of the dialogue she has is related to the romance option, which you can see in the old walkthrough, but I can't show you here because Courier Jeff is male. But she does still have location-specific dialogue, most of which is simple one-liners like she had in the Atomic Wrangler, but some of which is more in-depth, like the Silver Rush or the Tops. And the thing I was thinking of about her memories isn't relationship dialogue, it's location dialogue that's triggered in Goodsprings. So we'll give that a shot as soon as we wrap up with Bruce.
If this is uncomfortable, I'll drop it. But isn't this where you were shot in the head? I'm only asking because they said it gave you amnesia. I thought maybe we could form a support group.
Good idea. There's probably enough left between us to make a whole brain.
Both of us combined? Brain and a half, at least.
Yeah, but there's a chance I might recover my memory. With you, there isn't.
I'm not so sure about that. Frances never really asked about Larry's vault. She asked about Lollipop's R&D, but she couldn't have known exactly what associations that would have triggered.
They wouldn't have spent that much money on a hit-or-miss approach.
Exactly. They had to believe they could get the information out of my subconscious.
They still blew it trying to get the information from somebody who didn't know.
There were rumors about people murdering their neighbors to get a higher spot on the waiting list. If Vault-Tec knew Larry invited me to a private vault, it probably never occurred to them that I might have turned him down.
If they recorded your subconscious, why are there any gaps at all?
For every conscious thought, all these unthought ideas ripple out and fade away. The only difference to the mind recorder would have been the strength of the signal. And it had to have been pretty sensitive because they didn't know if what they wanted would show up loud and clear or just be an echo. If something never even crossed my mind, there would have been nothing to record, so it's probably just gone forever. But the echoes might come back to me if something triggers them.
I guess so. Why does a porno director know so much about neuroscience anyway?
Pop psychology is more like it. When I got serious about directing, I sobered up and took a shitload of those executive motivational courses. I figured they'd come in handy for pitching movies, keeping actors focused, that kind of thing.
Are you worried about the current political situation?
Not really. On one side, you have a bunch of sexist military fanatics. The other side makes pretty speeches, but they tax you into starvation. Both sides are a threat to Vegas because neither side can stand to see people having fun. So basically, nothing's changed.
Can we talk some more about the 21st century?
Yeah, that would be great. You never know what might make me remember something else.
Well, nothing new here.
Goodbye.
While we're here, we might as well recruit a model. If the Goodsprings settler survives the tutorial mission, which she did, the photographer can recruit her, but you can't ask her yourself. You can ask Trudy if she survives Ghost Town gunfight, which she did. But after she poses, she puts up posters in the bar, which we do not want until after Hilly retires. So we really only have one option at this point.
That'll teach the powder gangs to avoid Goodsprings in the future.
You know Lolipopz, the big pre-war publisher? They're back in business, and I'm the manager.
Might not make much of a difference around here.
A popular model can rally more aid than a politician, and you'd be very popular.
Say no more. I'm in.
Surprised I didn't name drop Lana Elsker there. Sunny also has to survive Ghost Town gunfight. Well, obviously. She's one of the few characters in a faction whose speech challenge is unaffected by your reputation in that faction. I guess because saving the town is more important to her than anything you might have done to piss them off. I've talked about a lot of the things that sort of imply this, but I've never put them all together in one sentence. Courier Jeff is making the porn business seem unrealistically easy, because he's idolized by almost every faction except the Legion and has speech skill of 100. He's like Jimmy Carter, who, by the way, got into some pretty hot water with a lot of people back in the day because he did an interview with Playboy while he was president. Profligate scum. Anyway, with neutral reputation and average speech skill, you wouldn't be able to convince half of these models, and with a bad reputation, most of them won't do it no matter how good your speech skill is. So the porn simulator minigame feels a lot more realistic when your character isn't the most beloved person in the Mojave. Well, I guess I'll take one for the team and show you the no gaydar option with Fresca. I mean, I wouldn't hit on another woman behind Kekata's back in any case, but in the interests of being thorough.
Hey, it's the hottest producer in Vegas. What's happening?
Is it weird that I feel chemistry with a woman from the past in an artificial body?
If you run Lolipopz, and you learned enough about me to track me down 200 years later, which I totally appreciate, by the way, I'm pretty sure you know I'm a lesbian.
I'm gonna take the clueless option instead of the ignorant option. Really? No way!
Yeah. Ladies' night, double trouble, my final scene with Francis Deloitte. Hello?
If you say you thought she might have forgotten she was a lesbian because her memory recording has gaps, she's a little bit offended, understandably, but both options ultimately end up in the same place. Nope, I didn't get that at all.
You're in good company. I did a scene with Dom Atomic in Red Menace, and a week later he called me, apologizing out the ass.
He didn't know?
There's no reason he should have, really. Nobody knew who I was. That was years before I started directing, and back then I only got calls when they needed a token flat chick.
Why did he apologize? Because he found out later you weren't really into it?
He was the nicest guy you'd ever meet, but he wasn't exactly a rocket scientist. I asked if he'd ever faked it for a scene he didn't really enjoy. He was quiet for a minute, and then, sincere as a schoolboy, he said, "You are the greatest actress of all time." I wanted to laugh so bad, but I thought it might hurt his feelings. I think that's probably why he did that scene with Andy in Vault Boy's Day Off. Well, that plus I kicked out his fluffer and gave him a little motivational speech first.
I saw Dom in the simulation, and Cara Dom's appearance and mannerisms are also based on simulated Dom. Was he really like that?
Yes and no. The physical resemblance was perfect, and if you just played along with the simulation, it was actually a lot like being on set with him. But it was based on his movies, not his real personality.
Anyway, no hard feelings?
You rescued me from 200 years of limbo. You'd have to do a lot worse and make an awkward pass at me to have hard feelings. Not that it was awkward. I mean, with a straight woman from the past, it would have totally worked. Yeah.
Despite my faction standing and speech skill, my reputation as the smoothest man in the Mojave is in tatters. Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm tempted to load my quick save, but laziness trumps role-playing purists, so I'm just declaring that didn't happen. Can just blame it on my sleep deprivation. That's kind of weird. I'm constantly dehydrated, but I rarely let my sleep get that bad. Nope. Couldn't do it. Couldn't face Cicada with that conversation in my save file, so I loaded the quick save after the photo shoot. So now I can go home and get some sleep. In fact, there's no reason for Fresca to come with me.
I've been thinking, if you were the first person to find me, then they probably never caught Frances. And if she turned into a ghoul or found a stasis pod or something, she could still be alive.
The odds of that are 1,000,000 to 1. Besides, I'll protect you if she shows up.
I'm not worried. I'd just like to ask her one question.
What's that?
Is giving great head something they teach you in assassin school, or was she a natural?
Well, I've unlocked all the post-quest dialogue a mail courier can unlock, and I want to make another movie soon, so you need to go back to Lolipopz.
By myself? I guess I can find the way.
We're literally right outside the tunnel. You were friends with Larry. You've probably taken that train hundreds of times. Pretty sure you won't get lost.
All right, I'll see you back at the studio.
You gonna go? No, you're going to keep following me. I think this might be a known bug. Belthan's supposedly working on a 4.1 update, but I haven't heard anything in a few weeks, and I don't know if this is on the bug fix list anyway.
What's up?
I want to do some more sightseeing.
That would be great. Let's go.
I'm assuming if I dismiss her at Lolipopz, her AI will update correctly. If not, I might be loading that quick save one more time. Do 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 do.
What's on your mind?
It's been fun, but I'm sure you have things to do in the studio. I'll let you get to it.
All right, later.
All right. Looks like she's fixed. Back to Parump. Oh, one more thing before I go to bed. I don't remember if I ever mentioned this before, but in addition to your email and the train dispatch, the terminal in your house also lets you check on the saloon finances, which I'm in the habit of doing at Lolipopz, but I forgot, so this is convenient. Oh yeah, share price is 32. So I'm going to call it a day, and I'd say next week we'll definitely buy out Hilly and get started on saloon upgrades and magazine publishing. And make another movie, which we can do a little differently this time. I'll see you then.